everybody, and welcome back once again to the Colonelcast and our special show, the Colonelbat, where we talk about Batman films. But oh my goodness, Florian and Erich, you're back? You're still alive?
Yeah,
that's right.
I thought I retired, but crime is just back and forcing me back to being the guy who watches Batman.
I heard you
Much
two
like Oliver
perished.
Queen, I'm hiding in the shadows.
I heard you died
sure
in like
knows.
boating incidents, separate boating incidents. That's what I heard. But you're here.
Yeah, totally.
It's their favorite alibi.
Yeah.
Boating incident.
But yeah, we're doing Dark Knight Returns. Listen, I recorded a little extra because I thought you guys died. I recorded a fucking extra thing, and people will see that, I guess. But we'll see. It's a whole thing. But
Wow.
yeah, Dark Knight Returns, though, of course, it's the famous comic. Really, we're getting through all of like the special like comic book arcs and stuff pretty early here, because this really revitalized Batman as a character like before the movie did and everything, and sort of brought him into the gritty 80s age. So
Wait, was this before the movie? No, it couldn't be.
well, this comic was 86 and the movie was 89. Yeah, this is before Killing Joke. It's before
Right, but the
yeah.
movie's not before the movie. Before the.
No, the movie is from like 2012, but this comic, the story from Frank Miller goes back, and it's a big thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
So, Florian, have you ever read any of Frank Miller's comics at all?
no, I have not read a single Batman comic.
Oh no.
I think.
Okay. So
They're
I
so
have read
good.
these before. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
I've been watching Steve Shive's videos about Batman, and I guess they sound pretty cool, but I'd be too lazy to read them.
Well, like Batman's just sort of become like such a mythic sort of character and stuff. You know, they were able to really reinterpret him in all sorts of different ways, and I think a lot of that was cemented with this because it's so like insane and different from anything that had been before, certainly, because there's, you know, they went through the whole Silver Age and he was all campy, and we saw that Batman 66 movie. That was sort of the reputation the character had for decades. So, and this really brought him made him all violent and scary again, you know.
Yeah, he has to fight some real crime now, not some Joker making pudding in the water supply.
Yeah, Joker using evil babies to kill everyone.
Those are kind of lame, actually. But I guess he was very genocidal, but they didn't have a Heath Ledger lookalike, sadly.
They really should have. Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
Joker design's not bad though. I think he's pretty good.
I mean, he's just pretty generic.
He's a big guy in this, you know. He's not usually big. He's usually short and thin. So
Ah,
yeah.
how
But
weird.
I mean,
Wow, Hartsey would have hated that change.
maybe, I guess. But yeah. I mean, it's a much more grim and gritty Batman, and I think the whole world that this has, it's very similar to RoboCop. That's why I wanted to do RoboCop sort of alongside this, is because there's a whole lot of thematic connections with everything.
I thought like the first part was good, but then like the Superman part was kind of terrible. How Superman is just like Dr. Manhattan who's just working for the government or whatever. Even worse, like more like the comedian actually.
Yeah.
Superman's trying to retire Batman by force. What the hell?
Well, that's the interpretation of Superman, you know. He's sort of an extension of the government in this, which is really very depressing kind of way to portray him, I think.
Yeah, like Jesus.
Poor guy.
Almost the boys level of bad.
Yeah.
Poor Superman being done so dirty in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else seems to be fairly cool, I guess, otherwise.
Yeah, they're not. Well, I mean, Two-Face is having a rough time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The Nazi
I
lady's
like
having a bad time.
I like his arc of like hating his new face, even though it's fine. And the Nazi breasts were amazing.
Yeah, swastikas right on the nipples.
Yeah. I'm glad that they were faithful with that stuff. They didn't, like, you know, he still dresses up as an old woman and fights this fucking Nazi lady with swastikas on her. It's
I mean, that was so sexy, but then like the old woman Batman brought it down again, sadly.
What is up with the children balloon things that fly around and spray gas everywhere? What the fuck are they?
I can't tell you. I have no fucking idea. It's really a bizarre thing.
What is wrong with Frank Miller that's like what he's like? Yeah, Joker has these things that go around and do all this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
scary.
it's jokery, right? It's like they're at the theme park with them.
Yeah, it
and
has to
they're
be spooky
weird.
like that.
Yeah, I mean, in the animated series, he throws like he throws baby grenades and they like explode into evil gas or whatever. So, in one episode, but I don't know. It's just he's just like a weird, insane guy. So he's got and I like it. He's got like this fat guy who builds him all his tech. I guess he's got like his own like twisted evil fat guy Alfred. So it's pretty
Yeah,
good.
he broke him out somehow, I guess.
Yeah,
Staged the whole escape.
it's not. Yeah,
So we got female Robin, which I thought was pretty cool, I guess.
yeah. She's pretty good on it. I think she's one of my favorite Robins. I think. Period.
Yeah.
But
I mean, she's kind of pretty weak, but I guess she really comes in clutch a few times.
I'm glad you brought this up though, because of course, Florian, we got to ask you which Robin is this, and do you remember her name?
What's their name?
Nope. All names faded from memory immediately.
So
What if I told you it starts with a C?
yeah,
I'm too distracted by her ridiculous hairdo. Okay. It's like, why is it always standing up like that?
well, it's not that ridiculous. Okay, it's not. Well, it might be the most ridiculous haircut in this, but it's But this is Carrie Kelly Robin. She's she was the only female Robin for a very long time. I think they did Stephanie Brown or someone. I don't even know. But
Okay.
yeah, in this alternate universe, there's only two Robins before her. There's Dick Grayson and Jason Todd, and Jason's dead, and Dick Grayson quit. So,
Wow.
and of course, in the Dark Knight Strikes Again comic, the sequel to this, we see that Dick went off and he became evil goop monster who pretends to be the Joker and then gets thrown in a volcano.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, it's not good. The sequels to this go off the fucking rails because Frank Miller lost his mind. But yeah.
Are they movies?
No, they didn't. No, they've not made a Dark Knight Strikes Again movie. They should though. 'Cause
Maybe.
when you read that comic, you can hardly tell what the hell's going on because the art is incomprehensible. So
Yeah, it's like this one sets up a sequel in some way, so probably should do it.
yeah, well,
I mean, they make like 10 Batman movies every year, so why wouldn't they?
I think it honestly works better on its own. Like I feel like this is a good ending of like his legacy carries on. Batman's done with, but it's he keeps going in spirit and with his mission. And of course in the sequel comics he just comes back in the suit and that's all.
Yeah, he didn't retire in this one, I don't think.
He retired the Batmantle and stuff.
No, I don't think he did. I think he's still
did.
riding on a horse at the end, and
He faked his death and everything.
In what way?
At the end of part 2, he faked his death. He got Superman he like induced a heart attack or something.
Weird. I must have missed that one. Huh.
Yeah. But he beat Superman, so that was pretty good.
Are you sure that wasn't before?
No, I'm sure that's the end of it.
Or
He fakes his death and he burns down the house, and then they reuse that in like Dark Knight Rises and Arkham Knight and stuff. So
Ah.
yeah.
I guess I remember the house burning down. I just thought that the end was him like saving Gotham from the whatever the nuclear pandemic. No, nuclear panic.
Well, I mean, he saves them, but it goes on. He fights Superman and stuff. So
Ah.
did you see the bit where he fights
I
Superman?
I guess I'm very confused.
Yours might have cut off. Like,
did you just watch the first part, or
No, I definitely saw the second part. There was a lot to
you
it.
saw stuff with Reagan?
Yeah. No, I definitely saw the second part. Don't worry.
okay. Did you see him fight Superman and kick his ass and stuff in the big suit?
Yeah, I saw there were scenes after that, but I guess
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
when
I
he
was
fakes his
wrong.
death, though.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds like you have to fix Death, Florian, and then you'll understand.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
Mhm.
So yeah, what else was there in this?
Well, I mean,
So I really like how this portrays Superman. He's kind of like a tool of the state, and Reagan basically is giving him orders throughout the two movies. He kind of shows up in the first one a bit, right?
Wow, I missed that too.
Or is it just the second one?
he's only in the second movie, but it is all intercut, like in earlier
okay,
parts
good.
of the comic, I think. So,
Yeah, you
Okay,
really making
okay,
me
I'm probably
question
remembering it
myself
now.
here.
yeah.
But yeah, like, this is like the Frank Miller taking everyone to their obvious conclusion of what would happen to these characters. So like Batman
No,
is
that
really
would not
old
happen
and really
to
grizzled.
Superman.
Superman is basically just a tool of the state and has very little.
That
of
is
his
not
own.
the logical conclusion to Superman. What's wrong with you?
The logical conclusion to Superman is that he dies and then comes back in a black suit and he cuts Darkseid's head off, and then the movie's over.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't
No,
know. That's
Oliver Queen has been like put down, even though he's still alive.
yeah. I like that he's in
What's
here.
the backstory there? Did he try to like overthrow Superman, or
He shot the kryptonite arrow and stuff.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the very important part of the plan and stuff. They cut it out of the Batman v Superman. You know, they didn't do Green Arrow in that just to simplify it.
Right.
But I think because Green Arrow in the comics is very much like a liberal kind of
He's a
leftist.
lefty. Yeah.
He's very he's woke, and he's always against. He clashes with Green Lantern, I know, at least, and all sorts of these fascist leaders and cops and stuff. So yeah.
Oh, I forgot this was the one where they constantly have like movie segments where they asking, is Batman a fascist?
Yeah.
And then in the end, they have
That's out of the
Batman.
comics.
And then Batman has a cult of like people who follow him in the end, and it's kind of fashy.
Well,
Before then, he wasn't.
he beats the mutant leader, and he gets all the mutant gang on his side, you know. But he has to teach them the right way.
Just a small amount of them, yeah.
Yeah.
I so don't buy that the Batman would allow these mutants to wear his symbol.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, they just need to be taught the right way, you know, and sort of put justice in the hands of the young, you know. He inspires the young. It's very allegorical, I think, a lot of it.
Yeah, these horrible murderers, he just lets them be the crime fighters now. Yep.
Well, I assume that we can just say that all the ones who do murders are not the sons of Batman. I mean, except for the ones who do kill once they become the sons of Batman, you know. But those are they're the good ones, you know. The mutants stayed mutants, and then the good ones turned into Batman people.
Are they even mutated in any way? What's up with these mutants?
I think the mutant leader has really a lot of plastic surgery and stuff to make him kind of gross looking.
Did his nose come off? I don't know why he had this weird nose all of a sudden.
Batman punched him really hard in the face, and it smashed his nose. So
Nice.
he got him.
Yeah, I like how multiple times he's like, "Wow, this guy is so injured, Batman. What have you done?" And he's like, "Ah, he'll walk it off."
He's still young. He'll walk again is the line, I believe, for when he cripples that one guy. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and I love that you have the young cop who sees him and he's horrified and he's like, you gotta go to jail right now for what you did to this guy. And then the old cop is like, oh, fuck off, just and starts having a casual conversation. Because he remembers, like, you know, like this is just something we put up with, and it's a net good for the city.
Batman.
So yeah,
And that awful female commissioner who just decides, I'm gonna ignore all the crime except for Batman, and then Batman is trying to save the city, and she opens fire on him, and then the city burns in the background. Oh my god.
those like 100 people who die in the Joker thing are probably like on her hands. Yeah, honestly.
That was so bad. She is just such a terrible character. And how is it possible? Like, has she not done any research into the millions of lives saved by the Batman?
Well,
God, he's such an old Batman who's been alive for so long and done so much good work.
but he's so controversial, though. You know, like they got He's just they think he might be a force of bad. They have all these people arguing on TV, and she takes an anti-Batman stance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that awful liberal media spreading lies about the Batman, calling him fascist. I don't get how that's allowed.
I mean, that is straight up. That's what's in it. Yeah, this fucking liberal media and stuff is molding people's minds. These weak fucking assholes on TV are just spouting nonsense at all hours of the day, you know? So,
like, you have to put this in the title, okay? It needs to be like the liberal media slanders Batman as fascist or
media
whatever.
slanders Batman, yeah, sure. We'll do that. That'll be for any Frank Miller adaptations. We'll do a clickbait woke title, I guess.
We gotta have all the woke titles. Gotta really cash in on the woke mind virus.
Yeah, that episode was still number 1 out of the last 10 episodes. So
I know it
did well.
Sells.
Yeah,
like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess everyone likes the idea of talking about wokeness. It's fine.
Yeah, woke's bad. Woke's gone crazy or whatever. I don't know. Like, this is from an age where like you could have like reasonable minds can disagree on these things more so, you know, like it's not like really unhinged.
No, all the people who are against Batman are unhinged. They're pro-crime.
They have good reasons though. I think in the real world I would not want Batman to exist or be let go. You know?
I would want Batman to exist if you got those horrible criminals, okay, and then you got the horrible psychiatrist blaming Batman for how insane the Joker is.
Well, we don't really like. I don't know if Batman. I don't think he kills people in this world, right? Because that's Joker's whole angle is to make it look like he killed someone. But like, any real vigilante, you'd have no idea like what their limits are, what their code is. You know, maybe if they were allowed to run amok for 20 years like this, and they had all this tech so they could ensure they never took a life. But like,
they should know Batman well enough.
I mean, who cares?
Yeah.
Like in the real world, like, just committing a murder isn't gonna get you jailed. Like, you have to leave like a lot of proof that you did it, otherwise you'll just go free. So it's ridiculous that these people are gonna be like, yeah, let's arrest the Batman. Like he's just gonna get out on bail from his millionaire money, all right?
Yeah, it depends. They sort of Force Awakens this a little bit, where they say like, oh, Batman, all our younger viewers at home regard him as a legend, you know, and they say it's 10 years after he retired, so which is like, that's not enough time for people to like forget, you know. Same way it's whatever time in Star Wars, that's not enough to like forget Luke Skywalker.
People forget the Jedi.
Yeah.
Well, it's a big galaxy, all right. I don't know if people even knew about Luke Skywalker that much when he was fighting. Like, he was just like a random pilot, right?
Maybe, I don't. Well, he blew up the Death Star. And he saved the world. That's a pretty big deal.
Piloted that.
Yeah, he blew up the Death Star and killed Darth. I mean, I assume the rest of the world thinks he killed Darth Vader and the Emperor, right? So, you know.
I mean, like, he's probably just humble about it, and they just think, oh, the Resistance did that, or whatever.
I don't know. It's
and
you can maybe argue it for Star Wars. You can not argue it for this at all, though.
I mean, this one he actually looks so old that it might have been more than 10 years, but who knows?
They say 10 years in the movie, so.
Wow, this was some hard years on the Batman.
Yeah. Well, he's supposed to be like 55, and sort of the conceit of this was like, oh, what if Batman had like gone on in real time, like as the comics were releasing, you know? So he's very much like, yeah, he's like as old as he would have been if he were. I mean, it's sort of fudged because he would have been like 8 in the 40s when he was already Batman. So, but you know,
yeah,
it works like well enough, I think. I mean, they draw him like he's 60 and not 50, so you know.
Yeah. But he's also incredibly buff. Everyone is incredibly buff.
That's Frank Miller's art style, is he makes everyone big and buff and epic. So.
Wow.
So it's kind of taking the character designs of the art style, but I feel like the texture and it's just so animated movie from DCAU that I feel like it's robbing it of some of the interesting character that the art of these books had.
Yeah, I mean, I like the art style the movie went for. I think it's pretty like fine enough and looks pretty good. But like there is I believe in the comic it's Lynn Varley did the colors. I think married Frank Miller and stuff, and she did like watercolor, I think, for all this and stuff. So it looks very
the watercolor look of it is so cool.
Yeah. And it's like very impressionist, it's like a very different kind of art style for comics, completely unlike any others from the time, and really since as well. Like, they don't really go back to this look, or they tried to, but it was bad in Dark Knight Strikes Again. Yeah. So
That's a wild comic.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, but it's not good. Yeah.
Wow. That's what you want to hear about your comic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm glad that the movie is split into 2 parts. That gives it like a lot of time. They could not have done this in like 70 minutes or whatever. That would have been awful.
Definitely not. Maybe with a full 2.5 hours, they could have done the full thing.
That's what it comes out to around, is 2.5. Yeah, minus the credits and stuff. So that would have worked. But yeah, it's I mean, there's like another DC animated movie I saw that's like Justice League New Frontier, and it's pretty good, but it is like 70 minutes, and it's based on a comic that also deserves like much more time, and it really could have used more time because they cut a lot out of it. So,
I mean, I guess cutting it in 2 was really good, because like you really need a pause from all the madness that's happening here. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even recall what happens in the first one all that well.
He fights the mutant gang.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Man, he decided that he needed to have a punch out with the mutant guy. Man, Batman is so stupid. Like, just shoot your guns at him.
Well, he's got like this sort of, he says that's the only way that he'll know. He's he wants to prove himself, and he wants to prove this, and eventually he does. He gets the upper hand on him in their second fight. So,
but it's so video game like. Oh yeah, I gotta fight the boss with my hands, man.
Well, that's Batman, though. He shouldn't have to rely on the technology. He's trained his body as well. So,
and then he fights the Superman with his body.
Yeah, and I mean that's the ultimate like extension of it. Is how he's able to kick the shit out of Superman.
Yeah,
by plugging himself into the power grid or whatever. So,
I just love his last line. It's just like, just remember that I beat you. Like. Yeah. In your darkest moment.
He's got like an ego to him and stuff, and his need to like prove that he's on top of this, so and he is. I think Superman was probably holding back a lot most of that fight, and then he gets hit with the kryptonite thing and he's out, obviously. So
right.
It's not super fair, but I mean he was outsmarted and stuff as well, I guess. So yeah,
it's never gonna be fair with Superman.
Yeah, I mean this Batman is pretty unhinged, and he gets more unhinged in other Frank Miller stuff, like especially the All-Star one. But it's
the hating Muslims.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They cut the ears off of him. He was gonna be in Holy Terror, but they got rid of that. So DC was not gonna publish that one. Yeah, but they do have like a 9/11 scene in this where Two-Face is trying to blow up the Twin Towers in Gotham,
Wow, gotta have Twin Towers.
Yeah, well, he's got to have the 2 because he's Two-Face, and but now he's all bad, so he's trying to blow up both towers, you see. And he's scarred. I think he scarred both sides of the coin and everything, so.
Yeah, because he's convinced he's ugly.
Yeah, he's so sure. It's a really tragic thing for him. He's a very sad guy, especially in this. So.
Yeah.
There's another. I think Arkham Asylum, Serious House, and Serious Earth is another comic where he's just pathetic and sad. Like he's like.
I love that one.
It's fantastic, yeah. But poor Two-Face, he's like in that they take away his coin and they give him a dice. Yeah, and then they give him a set of cards, and he's like, oh, I got to consult the fucking cards and go through every card in my deck before I can like decide if I go to the bathroom or whatever. And he's just such a wreck. But then he gets over it in the end too.
Personality.
Yeah.
Wow, and then he becomes a proper villain.
He's so well that comic doesn't even really. I mean, the Joker's the villain, but it's sort of it's very different. It's a very unique comic. It's got its own unique, crazy art style too. It's a great one.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, most of the stories.
Grant Morrison, right?
Yeah. One of their earlier ones, is from Grant Morrison.
Well, we have a lot to talk about this Batman, though.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Yeah.
I got tons of notes here, A lot of it's maybe not great notes. I like that the focus on the media and stuff, and you have Batman sitting there, he's like just scrolling the channels over and over, and that's when he sort of decides he needs to fucking get back into this and everything. Just because everything's so awful.
It's so weird. Why would he retire? And then, like, I guess he's somewhat, like, really old, but then he's also still super fit. But I guess, like, occasionally it's like, oh man, pulling myself up from that rope took me like a second longer than it should have. Damn.
Yeah. Well, he's like training himself. He's training his whole mind and body all the time. I'm sure even still. I mean, he at the start we see him. He's racing on the track and stuff, and he's trying to. There's like in the comic he says like this would be a good death, but not good enough. Like as the fucking car starts malfunctioning and blowing up. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's sort of an aspect that's missing from the movie is him chasing like a brave warrior's end and stuff, you know. So,
but I mean, I think it's interesting to explore that part of Batman's life is like once he's starting to get old enough that he's got to look into either retiring or figuring out what his successor is going to be. I think that's an interesting concept for this guy. Because he can't let go of it. He just can't. Like it's too integral to his personality.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he shouldn't. He's needed.
Well, I mean, he is needed. You know, the world's gone to shit, and they need this strong guy from the past and stuff to come back. But it's sort of, I do really like that. Yeah, he's fucking. I mean, even in the car, it's like this jet black car that he's racing in, and he has the helmet with the little wings on top, and they look like bat ears and stuff. Like he cannot let it go at all. He's so stuck doing this forever and looking for new highs and more like adrenaline seeking activities and all sorts of stuff. So
it's so silly though how he's like just he drives a bat car, but people still don't know his identity or whatever.
They don't need to put it together, you know. That's for us to make the connection that he's Batman. So.
Yeah, there's this clear Batmobile driving on the racetrack. Nope, we're completely.
I mean, it's a weird. That's like where you can get away with having a weird car, though, is on a Formula One track or whatever.
I mean, I feel like those are the most boring cars ever. Like they all look the same.
I don't know. His looks weird, but you know.
Yeah, his does.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not like monster trucks or whatever.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, we know why he retired as well. It's because his last Robin, who they say is Jason in the movie, and I had to go back and check if it was him in the comic as well, because this is actually before they made that like mainline continuity. This is
really
like 2 years later they adapted that into the main one and stuff. But this introduced like the case in the cave and everything, and it being Jason who died. So yeah, and it's so influential on like Batman stuff, you know. Like I mean, there's that, of course. That's probably the biggest like lasting legacy it's had, like because like most of the main story is not really able to have too much of an impact because it is like an alternate universe, and it's so late in his career. Like no main DC continuity is ever going to get to this point, you know. They're going to have a crisis and reset it again. So
same with Kingdom Come.
Yeah, definitely. But it's so cool. I like that Peter Weller's playing Batman, you know, the RoboCop connection, you know.
I like him mostly, but I feel like he's almost too low key so much of the time that I just watched this and I just wish that it was Kevin Conroy.
It would have been so sick if it were Kevin Conroy, you know.
Just because that's who I imagine Batman sounding like, and when he's delivering some of these lines, I feel like Peter Weller's just so detached, which to a certain extent makes sense. But the voice that really bugged me in this was the Commissioner Gordon voice.
Oh, I thought he sounded fine.
I don't understand who they got for him and why they got him.
I thought his stuff worked. I didn't even notice, honestly, but yeah.
Well, ever since I had the Bryan Cranston Commissioner Gordon, I can never go back. It'll never be the same.
Well, that's like the only Batman thing Bryan Cranston has ever or probably will ever be in. So you got to get used to it. He's gone. Yeah, but I mean,
wait for AI to put him in anything as Commissioner Gordon.
You could, but there was
imagine the Gotham series if it had him instead. Damn, it'd be like Breaking Bad. It'd be high art.
Well, he's all young in that, right? Gordon is. He has to be.
Yeah. Well, he was young in Breaking Bad.
He was Breaking Bad's about how
Fine.
old he is, though. He's like 50 at least in that.
No, I think he starts out at like 35. No, I
No,
must
it's
be
all
wrong.
about
He's
how he's like
75.
old and decrepit and he feels like he's gone nowhere in life. That's like the whole point.
Okay, well, I don't know. I swear he was still young in some scenes. Maybe those were backflashes.
There were backflashes where he goes, and he's younger there, and they do some makeup on him. Yeah, but as far as the voices, there is actually an adaptation of parts of this in the animated series with Kevin Conroy, and they have.
Really?
Yeah, they did an episode where it's like there's a bunch of kids who are talking about stories of Batman, and one of them is like a classic 60s style thing, yeah. But then it's like a girl. I think it is just straight up Carrie Kelly. It's like the animated series version of her, and she tells this story about this world where Robin's a girl and everything, and Batman's so old and sick. But even in that Dark Knight Returns Batman is not voiced by Kevin Conroy. They got another actor for that scene. So.
Who voices him there?
I don't even know. It's someone else. I don't know. I can look that up real quick though.
I can't even win when they do it in the same show.
Yeah. They didn't. They just didn't want to do it, I guess. It's a good episode though. I mean, and that's just like a good show in general. It's fantastic. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cast. Let me see if I can find it. 80s Michael Ironside did 80s Batman.
Oh, that's a good casting though.
Yeah, he is like Peter Weller is not like super gruff, you know. I think Ben Affleck I think is the best casting for this specific version of Batman. He is very old and deep voiced and gruff and sounding, you know. He's very good at that.
Right.
Although I do think they fucked up most of what they take from Dark Knight Returns is it looks cool in that movie, but it's not great because it's just not a good movie. But yeah, I don't know.
Wait, which one's not a good movie?
Batman v Superman, which a lot of that's based on this. So,
I mean, I guess we'll see when we come around to it. Because originally I hated it, then I liked it, and now we'll see what I think of it now.
We'll have to see.
But yeah, it's not as bad as you think, I guess. I mean,
I haven't seen it since the theaters, so
because-
maybe I'll like it, but I feel like that's unlikely.
yeah, it's pretty weird. I think you like it.
Maybe. I don't know. But, yeah. I think what do you guys prefer part 1 or 2 of this? Like which sort of side of the story?
It's got to be part 2 just because of the Batman Superman fight for me.
What?
And
That's
I
what
just like
didn't
all the Reagan
Yeah.
stuff. Fucking Reagan in the in the nuclear
He's in the little
thing.
hazmat suit in the undisclosed
It's
location.
so funny. It's so funny.
And he's like, now those folks out there, they're
Those pesky
being
Russians.
like they're real sore losers, you know. Like he's not treating this with any seriousness or like
They
grave.
got into it again. Yeah.
Yeah, he does not give a fuck, you know. Or like fucking
Right.
Reagan, such an asshole. Yeah. I mean, I think part 2,
Once
like,
again, it's so real, just like it could happen right now with Trump.
yeah. Well,
I really don't like the mutants that much as a group that Batman fights, so the first part is just not my cup of tea.
what, you don't shiv? Slice
Yeah,
and
I don't
dice.
shiv. I don't slice and dice. Yeah, they always say fucking slice and dice.
You're Billy
Yeah.
Berserk. If you don't like the mutants, or is Billy Berserk good? I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't know.
Whatever
It's gotta be
nonsense.
good, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you agree that part 2 is better than part 1? Or
I think so. Yeah, definitely.
I'm conflicted, I guess. I don't know. I was more invested in part 1, and then I didn't like the Superman stuff as much because he's just like so unrealistically stupid.
I like when Superman gets nuked and then he fucking
That's so cool. That is
like,
such a sick ass scene. Yeah.
he goes down into the earth and he like sucks the life out of the flowers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He gets his yellow
cool.
sun energy that way, which I don't know if they've ever done in any other comic. If he does that any other time, I'm sure they've done it since this, but yeah. So yeah, I think part 2, like, I think the Joker stuff is sort of like it doesn't really fit into the themes and stuff of the story. Like it sort of comes to a halt, I think, a bit to have Joker play out his whole thing, but all of it is such good action and so many cool scenes and lines and shit. Like I'm glad it's all there. So yeah.
Okay.
And he's got like a weird angle with Joker. He's like Joker's like he calls him darling and stuff. It's very bizarre.
Yeah. The Michael Emerson is the guy who plays him. I like that actor.
Yeah.
I'm not as sold on his Joker version, but it's decent. That's all right.
He's a very weird Joker, yeah, compared to I do think Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill would have been good in this, yeah.
Well, yeah, Jesus, Mark Hamill is like the best Joker, really. I mean, like the best voice for him, at least, the most iconic.
I mean, definitely, yeah. I do like that it is very different, though. Honestly, I like that it's because it's like the original Elseworlds kind of story almost and everything. So it feels fitting that it's very they go to like, especially pulling like Peter Weller and stuff for it being very cemented in the '80s and everything. So. I like that more thematically than in practice, honestly, with some of these voice actors. But yeah.
Yep. Poor voice actors.
They have Ariel Winter playing Carrie Kelly, which I don't know. She's fine, but I feel like we could have gotten somebody a little bit less. She's just very popular girl kind of feeling to me.
Yeah.
And Carrie Kelly, I think, should be a little bit more rough and
well, she's kind of like
almost.
Well, she's got the big glasses and everything, and she does seem maybe a little nerdy in her. We don't really see much of her personal life, but she's got like the one friend who she's flaking on and everything. So
yeah, she's nerdy enough.
Yeah, and she works with all the tech, which is Tim Drake is the techie Robin in the main continuity, but she sort of fills that more so than she does like the other Robin sort of roles. So
yeah, I think she does pretty well. It's pretty well acted.
I like that she just buys her costume from the store and she doesn't like change it or get a new one. She just has that. Yeah,
people just have the costume for Robin.
Yeah, it's like Miles in Spider-Verse, except he doesn't get the cool. She doesn't get the cool suit at the end. She's just in that the whole movie. In the sequel, she becomes Catwoman or Catgirl or something, and it's really weird because Batman's like child fucking character is now taking up the mantle of like the woman he loved and stuff, and that gets really weird. So, and it's like an awful Catwoman costume. It has like cheetah spots on it. So, and that comic,
she becomes Catwoman. What the fuck?
She becomes some sort of cat girl based character, and it's really weird. Yeah. You don't want your child sidekick dressing up like the woman you fuck. That's not good. That's really bad and weird. I think she eventually becomes like a Batgirl kind of thing in the other ones, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, that makes way more sense.
Yeah.
So does she like steal like Catwoman too?
No, well, no. By the second one, she's all well established and working with Batman and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, but the real Batwoman, the real Catwoman is working with Batman. Okay.
I don't know if she's even mentioned in the second part. I don't even remember. But yeah, I mean, she's there in this universe. She's still alive, I guess, and she's very old, and she's running an escort service.
Oh wait, yeah, no, I guess she is. Yeah.
Yeah.
She gets murdered. Wait,
Catwoman.
So
she doesn't know. She's still around. She gets assaulted or something. So.
Huh.
Purple, would you say this is your favorite Elseworlds kind of story?
I think there's cooler stuff. Like as far as just like what's cool, I think Killing Joke is kind of cooler overall, but I think this is like a better story, definitely by far. And I honestly, I haven't like read Gotham by Gaslight or Red Sun or any of that other stuff really. So
Red Sun's cool.
Yeah, is Serious House
cool, but it kind of loses.
Elseworlds? I don't even know if that is. Then
I'd say that's Elseworlds.
Then that might be number one. Yeah. Yeah,
that's definitely my favorite one.
Yeah.
Well, I think this movie is definitely one of the better ones that we've seen. Like the story is actually more interesting than the usual Batman stories that we see.
Yeah. I think this has been. I think it's. Well, no, I rated it lower than the 66 one, but that's because that movie's so much fun. So.
Yeah.
Very different things though. This, as far as serious Batman, this is my favorite one we've done so far. So. Yeah. Do we have anything else to go into for this, or should we move on to the wheel?
Florian, anything you gotta cover? I feel like I've said what I wanted to say about Dark Knight Returns.
All right.
Yeah, I guess I don't can't think of anything. Oops, it is pretty late.
All right. Well, I got the wheel pulled up. Should we go? What do we want it to land on this time?
Bat Kid Begins.
Well, I want to see the Heath Ledger joke. All right, give me the good stuff.
Okay. I hope we get the Flash, or Mask of the Phantasm, or something.
What the modern Flash movie that I'm the only one who liked?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can't wait.
Sure. But I'll spin it. There it goes. Oh my
We haven't watched
god.
1989 yet, right?
No, we have not. We haven't seen any of
Okay,
them.
shit.
Oh my god.
What is it? What is it?
Oh
The
my
Flash?
god. It was on Bat Kid Begins. It ticked over. And we got... Yeah, we almost got it. But we got Gotham Knight, the animated one. That's the
Okay,
animated
alright, I'll
spin-off
watch
that we
that,
put
yeah.
on. I think we put this on the wheel last episode, so... Yeah.
We're constantly adding things to the
We're-
wheel.
we're
so,
always
okay,
adding
I'm
things.
happy with that.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah,
That should be
there was
fun.
something you wanted to add, right?
Yeah.
You didn't
Oh,
remember what it was?
Yeah, we talked about adding Long Halloween on this episode, but I just went and did that between episodes anyway, so it's fine.
Okay.
We're going to do
Okay.
Long Halloween, definitely, because apparently... I'm excited
So
for
the
that.
names are always so confusing. So which one is this one now?
Gotham Knight is an animated spin-off thing. It's like a series of there's like 6 short Batman stories in it, and it's sort of meant to be maybe in between Batman Begins and
Batman
Dark Knight.
Begins and Dark Knight.
But
yeah.
it barely it sort of mentions plot points from Batman Begins, and then isn't, like, Christopher Nolan didn't watch this, obviously, so it's
Yeah.
not referenced again, but it's
So is
technically in
that-
there.
So is that Gotham Knight with a K or without a K?
Gotham
K.
Knight with a K, yeah. And not the video game Gotham Knights. Singular Gotham Knight. So
This is so
And
bad.
not the TV show Gotham Knight.
yeah, this is an awful situation where they keep reusing the same 5 words for Batman for everything. But,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah, they gotta stop using the word Gotham now. It's over.
Yeah.
And Knight, they
And
gotta
Knight.
stop using
They keep
Knight
us-
as well.
When you talk about Dark Knight, are you talking about the comic or the movie we just
I
reviewed,
know,
or the
right?
other Dark Knight? You know, like, which Dark Knight are you on about? You know, no one knows anymore. That's sort of fallen out of favor, I think, because of the Nolan movie. Like, no one wants to get confused with that anymore, so they don't really use Dark Knight a lot for other stuff.
So you said 2008, is that the one?
I think right
Yeah,
around there,
makes
yeah, it
sense.
would be, yeah,
All
7 or
right.
8, yeah. So, yeah, that'll be good. I mean, I watched that pretty recently. I liked it a lot, so we'll see.
Good. So are you gonna rewatch it for this, or are
Yeah.
you gonna
Hell yeah, I'll
be like,
watch
okay,
it.
wow.
I'll put it back on. It's
Wow.
short. Maybe I'll skip some parts of it. But yeah. The latter half of it is like especially fantastic. Like the last 3 shorts are so good.
Oh, real good. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But it's like a whole movie, right?
Yeah, it is. It's like 70 minutes worth or so of shorts. It's about like 10 minutes per kind of thing.
But it's not like separate episodes, is it?
No, it's a movie. You can just
No,
watch it as a
shorts.
movie. Yeah, and it's like an anthology thing, and it's like VHS or whatever. So
All right, so I guess I finally found the right one.
yeah, yeah,
All right.
that'll be
Yeah,
very
okay.
exciting. I
Looking
do have
forward
one-
to more Batman.
Yeah,
You got what?
You do
I
with
got
what?
I got an idea for one more secret surprise that I'm gonna add onto the wheel as well.
Ooh,
But it's gonna be a super
are you
mega
gonna tell us or
secret.
You're gonna keep this.
No, this
Okay,
is the
all
super.
right, so
This is the most
we
mega
won't
secret of
know.
all. Yeah,
we won't know unless we hit it in the wheel.
yeah.
Okay.
I'll put it down right now. I'll put mega secret on the wheel.
All right.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Is there some kind of Godzilla movie with Batman in it?
No,
Mm.
there was recently a Justice League vs Godzilla comic, but they have not done a movie.
Yeah.
If they do that, that's going on the wheel though. So
Yeah, for
For sure.
sure.
yeah, that'd be sick.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, unfortunately it is legendary Godzilla. Unfortunately, they don't have him fighting like Rodan and Mothra though, but it's still pretty good. They got King Kong in there too. You know, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, they got the stupid names in Godzilla 2 where you never know which one it is.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching our podcast. Our Colonel Bat,
Yeah.
our Colonel back, because everyone's back and did not
Back.
die on boats.
I hate when I die on boats.
Yeah.
The
Well,
Dark
I'm
Colonel
glad you're
returns. The Purple Colonel returns.
Dark Colonel returns. Unfortunately, we do already have a name. Unfortunately, which is
Yes.
I forget what we named the pot. It was something woke. It was fucking Batman
Oh, right.
fights.
Yeah.
It was something like that.
Because we know that woke does well. People love the woke.
Yeah, they love the
liberal
anti-woke
media.
Batman. Yeah,
The
liberal
woke
media
media.
slanders Batman. Yeah, woke media.
That's fascist. You gotta put fascist.
Woke media
in
calls
there.
Batman fascist. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
That'll be great. But yeah, thank you guys. What do you have anything to plug for us today, Rich?
Yeah, just my letterbox, Revan138 on there. What is
Alrighty.
something that I watched? Really, just these Batman movies recently. So
Yeah, Batman's great. And Florian, what do you have
We
to
love
plug
Batman.
for us here?
No, don't have anything.
This is coming out in 2 weeks, so you got time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what do you think is the chance that I finally recorded my weight loss video? Actually, there's no way it's out by then. Never mind.
Yeah, nope.
Just don't.
Something to look forward to someday, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta make sure I don't gain the weight back until then. Jeez.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for watching. And until next time, same bat time, same bat channel. Goodbye.
Yeah, it's the bat you
Goodbye.
deserve.